I'm going to be working with Fun Stamper's Journey Cozy Prints. It's brand new in the catalog. Great prints for the holidays, for fall. I love this. Oh my gosh. Doesn't that just look like flannel? And this will be perfect for Christmas cards. And what I'm going to showcase tonight are some Christmas cards I've made. Here's a partial piece of the cardstock, the printed paper, showing you it's double-sided. It is 12 by 12. I'm going to be making Faux Quilt. And this is what's called a faux quilt pattern. And it's made with 1 inch by 1 inch squares. Give you a little idea. So it's just some fun ways. This is one of our paper cartridges with Fun Stamper's Journey. This is the 1 inch square. It just easily slides right on. And what I like about it, one, it's a really good heavy-duty paper punch. But this way I can line up exactly what I want to punch out. So this is what I'll be using, is the 1 inch square. And I'm going to, as again said, use the Cozy Prints. Let me put this stuff aside. Limited work area here, so trying to move things out of the way. I want to show you some of the cards I'm going to make. And what I want to show you too, on some of these cards, you'll see a little decorative piece. And this is from On the Road Holiday Clips, AC-0366. And it's actually 6 pieces. And I've used 3 of them here, and I've already used the other 3 in other cards. But it's an accent piece. This one I actually cut the paper clip off. It's on a really strong heavy-duty paper clip. And then on these darker cards I would put a lighter insert and then put a sentiment, but I wanted to get the exterior of the cards done first so that you guys could see them. Here's another one I did. Same thing again, another faux quilt. You see little stitch marks on it, little embellishments. This one is a quilt, faux quilt, rectangle that was a bigger piece, and then I cut out the center, and I've stamped out some poinsettias and some leaves, and I added a little Santa in. Now this Santa did not have a shiny finish to him, so I went ahead and used our Journey glaze and went over the top so that he also was shiny. I like the shiny finish to these. Okay, so here you see I have an outer rim and a center that's faux quilt, and there's an area here that's been cut out. This frame is the area that was cut out. And so again, this is the faux quilting. Another one of the On the Road Holiday Clips. This one was already shiny. This one I was able to leave the paper clip on. I slid it behind and just added a little bit of glue. I wanted these to be permanent on the cards. And then the final one, which is the one I'm going to demonstrate today, is the Happy Holiday one. And this gives you a bigger picture of the faux quilt. So you can use any colored, any printed paper you'd like. Fun Stamper's Journey brand, of course, is better. And then a sentiment and that. Let me go over some of the products I used. For the Happy Holidays, I used the Sparkle Trim stamp set, which is SS-0495. And it's a set of 7 red rubber stamps. Then the poinsettia that I just love. This is, show you again real quick. Here's the poinsettias and the leaves. This set came out of the Poinsettia Burst stamp set and the Poinsettia Burst die set, and they can be purchased as a bundle, and you get, I believe it's around 10% off by bundling them together. Hi Melissa, thanks for stopping in tonight. Okay, so, and then on the rectangles that I showed you, where I had cut out the rectangles of the faux quilt I had made, those ones I used the Journey rectangle dies, and they're cut dies as well as paper piercing dies, so 6 of each, total of 12, and that's a great die set. I use different types of twine and thread, lots of silks. You know I love the silks. So this is the one I'm going to show you how to do tonight. We're going to start with the card base. This is an A2. So an A2 is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And we're going to do this one in green olive, not old olive, green olive. But it'll end up like this, just a different color. I've gone ahead and I've cut out all the 1-inch squares, and I have them ready to go here. What I've done is I've used a 3-inch by 4-inch piece of cardstock. You can use any color that you want for the underlying base because you're going to cover it up. You just want it there for stability and to build your faux quilt on. We're going to use the Journey craft glue. This glue is amazing. It's a must-have for all crafters. I use it on so many of our products. And this is so easy. I've already cut out my 1-inch squares. I went ahead and I lined them up here so I knew how I wanted them set, and then I pulled them off and I stacked them because this way I had a little more work surface. I'm just going to turn it over, and we're just going to, I've gone ahead and done half of this because I didn't think you wanted to watch me do, all 12 of these. You go ahead and you push this in, you line it up, and as you push it down, if you get any excess glue, just take a paper towel and press over the top. You want to, one of the reasons to use the Journey glue is because it is wet, and it's going to allow you to slide these over if you need to. And then you can decide which way you want the design. It doesn't, again, it's a quilt, so it doesn't have to be exact. If you want to do this all in one color, you could. If you want to do it in 2 colors, think of all the wonderful designs you could create in any size. Just remember to keep them spaced properly, that these are 1-inch squares, so whatever the base is, you want to make sure that it's by 1 inch. Don't do like 5.5 or like that. So this one again is 3 by 4. And I don't know if you can see, I'm just putting glue. I'm trying to, come over to the edges. I'm not getting a huge amount on this, but enough to cover the back. I did one of these. This is an old technique. I have a couple videos on it already on YouTube, from years ago. And it's just really fun. You can make, I did one where I made it look like an oval rug on the floor, and I had a puppy stamp, and I stamped out the puppy and put the puppy on the card. It was just really cute. You could make a baby blanket with this. This one, like I said, I'm doing Christmas cards, so I want to make sure that it was more the holiday theme. This one I have found that once you get all the pieces on, the thin metal dies will cut through the 2 layers. Just be sure your glue is completely dry. Hi Karen, thanks for stopping in tonight. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Now, some of the questions I may not get to till the end of the broadcast, and I'll go in after the fact. I am going to leave this on my business page here, so you can come back in and view it any time. And whether you're watching the live feed or you're watching the replay, I really appreciate it if you leave a comment and let me know that you stopped by. Oh, Katie, great. Thanks for stopping in all the way from Alaska, one of our favorite cruise destinations. So this is the last piece. And again, don't put this through your die cutter if you are gonna cut it with dies. Do not cut it until the glue has dried. And it doesn't take very long. This glue dries really quickly. Okay, now as you can see, I have a little bit of an edge here. So I didn't cut this exactly completely straight. So what I could do is I can leave it and I could put a little border over it. Usually what I do is I just take my snips and I'm just going to trim it down. I don't think anybody's going to notice. And I'm not going to tell anybody other than people that are watching the video that I did this. And I'm sure you guys won't tell anybody on me either. And this one's just a fraction off. There we go. Got it. I mean, we're talking fraction here. Okay, so normally what we would do is we would let this dry for a little bit. You want a really good black pen. You can use a marker. This is a Faber-Castell artist pen that I've had for years. It works really well, but if you have a fine-tipped marker, it will work. You do not want to use a gel pen. You do not want to use any kind of pen that if you take your hand over it that it will smear, because as we go in and we do these stitch marks, our hand's going to go over this, and so we don't want black smeared. So whatever works for you, whether it's a marker or whether it's a artist pen like I have. Again, this is a Faber-Castell artist pen, and it's Indian ink and it's waterproof. So any place that has art supplies would have it. But again, I know that a Sharpie fine tip marker will work too. So as you can see, that's a really fine tip. And I'm going to go through, and the stitch marks, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see as I do them. Let's see. What I'm going to do is make X's. And you go over one piece to the other. Bring it up, and let's see, there's a little bit of delay here, so I'm not sure. Give me a minute here. Let's see if you can see. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm making little X's, and because some of this is black, it's not going to show up as well on the camera. When I get down in here, you'll see. So we're going to make X's all the way down. And this will take a minute, so bear with me as I do it. Did you guys see that Fun Stamper's Journey has a phenomenal sale going on this month called Crush on Color? And all of our solid color cardstock and our coordinating ink pads are 20% off. That is just fantastic. I mean, this is the month to stock up on cardstock and inks. So what we're going to do is go down every place that these have actually gone together and make a little X. And like I said, bear with me on this part. It'll just take me a minute, but I want to show you, the full effect. And I couldn't do it ahead of time because the pieces weren't glued together. So okay, I've done the side ones. Now I'm just going to come down. I'm going to do the same thing here. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I spent the day crafting. We ran an errand earlier and then came home, and I've been working in my craft room all day. And so it's been really nice. I hope you guys got some time to have some fun this weekend and even time to do some crafting. I appreciate you spending time with me tonight so I can show you this technique. And again, as I said, with the quilted pattern, you can use any print that you want and make this for any occasion. Birthday cards, baby cards would be awesome with this too. Hi, Lori. Lorianne, appreciate you stopping tonight. Okay, we're almost done here. I just have a few more little stitch marks to make. And again, when you do this, please use a pen that isn't going to smear. As I said, this is an artist pen that I'm using. A marker will work too. There we go. How cute. I mean, doesn't it look like it's been stitched? That this was actually all put together? I just love it. Now, let me show you something with the dies. This I realize is small. But if I wanted to cut this so that I could create this type of look, but with and a smaller detail, what I would do is I would take my die and put it here, and then I would take a much smaller one for the center. I would go ahead and run it through my machine. This outer part, let me show you this way. This outer part would be the frame. The center part would be this part here. And then this part here in the center is the same as what I made this frame with. And see how the stitch marks work? And then I just backed this one with some pomegranate splash cardstock, so it looked like a window. So what we're going to do with this card, though, we are going to go ahead and leave it plain. That way my die cutting machine's in the other room. My craft area is actually a converted storage room. So I don't have a lot of space, but it's perfect. I'm not complaining at all. I feel very blessed that I have this great space and that I'm able to do this. So we're going to put this here. I'm going to go ahead and use Journey foam squares. I love these. They come in 2 different sizes. This is the medium, and with the medium ones, what's nice with them is that they're large enough, or if you need it smaller, you can just cut it in half. I'm just going to flip this over. And we don't need a lot, just I put them in each corner and one in the middle. Sometimes 2, depends how big it is. If I'm working on a smaller project, I would use, there are smaller ones. And these are double-sided foam squares with, as far as the adhesive. So they adhere right away, and then I'm just going to pull off the little backing so that they're ready to go. Okay, and I'm going to bring this over and try to line this up. Okay, there we go. I've already gone ahead and stamped a Happy Holidays on 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 piece of cardstock, and I use the Sparkle Trim stamp set to do the sentiment. I want to outline this cardstock with a little bit of green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it, just hold the ink pad, sentiment side down, and just go across. And see that it's going to add some green. You can also do this with a sponge. You can do this with a dauber. But just to add a little bit of accent, if I wanted a little more, I can come in. If you lay the paper a little more flat, it'll pick up more color into it. Rather than just doing the edge, you'll get some shadowing. This was the green olive. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now, I like using the silks. I'm going to use the bronze silk on this. Remember with our silks that they do have a sediment that it separates when they've been sitting. So you want to shake this extremely well. I'm going to put the paper towel over my my quilt there because I don't want this on the quilt. Oh, thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Okay, you hold it. I just hold it between the two fingers and I tap. And you want to be sure that you've got a lot of this on the brush. So when you bring it out, bring it straight out. Don't clean it off like you would if you were doing fingernail polish. There we go. This is better. I love this. And when it dries with a metallic finish to it. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And even combining colors on this. You could do silver and silver, bronze, and gold. That would just be amazing. Okay. And it takes about 2 seconds to dry here. And when it dries, again, it's got this great metallic finish. I'm then going to just go ahead and put my sentiment on using the foam squares. The foam squares actually have 126 pieces in it, so that's a really good number. They're very, very reasonable. Now these, okay, this is overkill. I didn't need to do this bigger one. I should have gone ahead and just cut these in half. I could have used halves, or I could have used the smaller on this because this is just a small piece. I definitely used too many in this. I should have gone to the smaller. So what I'm going to do is just pull the backs off. Again, these are foam squares. They're double-sided adhesive. And then make sure the card opens properly. And I'm just going to set it here. And then apply pressure here. My ink's already dried. I used black licorice ink. You could use any color you wanted for the sentiment. So that's the finished product. And here's the other sample in the pomegranate. But see how each quilt has come out different in the design? There's some similarities, but it's different. Any color background you want, the sentiment. And I think I have one more that's like this. Let me show you one other version. Hold it this way. This one, I used the pomegranate splash, but I added a bow on the top with our thread, black and white thread. I took some of our journey sequins, and I'll show you these in a minute, a little up close, and I glued them with journey glaze. Our craft glue would be the same. I just put a drop of journey glaze down and then set this, the sequin right on top. See if that shows a little better. I'm watching on the iPad and there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, there we go. But see the sparkle with that? So anyway, so now you've got 3 different ways that each card looks different, but I did the same thing. So if you were mass producing, your Christmas cards, going to do 100 of them, you could do each one different, however you want to do it. Again, this is with the same type of technique. I just used a larger faux quilt. This one, I believe, was, I want to say about 4 by, well, wait, that's really silly. I can count. 1, 2, 3. This was 4 by 5. You can count the squares. That's funny. Anyway, so this one was 4 by 5, and I cut it down. and then separated the pieces. Think of all the different dies that we have and all the different designs you could do. You could do clouds, you could do hearts, you could do stars, you could do geometric shapes, just so many options. And then here's another version of this, just done the opposite, where the card opens like this, rather than bottom to top. This opens side to side. Again, same thing. And then, so those are the cards. Let me give you a little bit of info on some of the things that I did use. The journey sequins are just great. I love these. Look at, I mean, I've had this, oh, I don't know, over a year now. And my go-to are these little red flowers. And I've used them on birthday cards, and I've used them on Christmas cards, and I've used them for accents. There's little white snowflakes. There's little silver embellishments, and it's loaded. And if you've been a follower of me for any length of time, you know that I've used these quite often. This silver, oh, and here, let me show you. I used them as the centers to the poinsettias. I filled the poinsettias in with Journey Glaze, then went ahead and added the flowers while it was still wet. This one, I used the gold friendship sequins, and this one, these ones, the sequins are pretty much all the same size, which can be really nice. Yeah, in fact, these do look like they're all the same. I like that. Rather than having just little itty bitty ones. But look at the sparkle. This was, the gold was brand new at convention this year. So that's a new product. The special celebration sequins are silver. And these ones are all different sizes. But they really sparkle and shine. I just have a harder time handling the little ones. Most of the time when I do the sequins, I do go ahead and I use a tweezer to handle them. So that's it. Like I said, I just wanted to show you the cards that I had made and shared with you, and show you how to do the technique. It's one that I have demonstrated before, but I think it's just fun, and I'm showing you all the different designs with basically a rectangle, and that you can, create. I really appreciate everyone watching tonight. It means a great deal to me. I will go back in. If there's any questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to clarify or to explain. And if you'd like to make a purchase of Fun Stampers Journey products, just a reminder that my business website is funstampersjourney.com, Mary Director. Oh, move it over a little bit. And thank you again for watching. And I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.